if I stripped fitness away from you tomorrow, who would be left?
Okay, if you strip fitness away from you, you would be left. Are we talking about like? We just were talking about like me inside it and we're like who I am. I think it depends. I think now it would be. I would still be who I am in terms of my core values of like, trying to always look for more and improve in other ways. Like if I don't have fitness, there's going to be something else that I'll probably be addicted to. There's going to be something else that I will chase. I'm not going to just be there. But I think with that being said, one thing that fitness has helped me to do is to, maybe it's a bad thing as well, but I think where I am right now it is good because it makes me strive for more and never really be like satisfied, I would say. Because I think before I started like my fitness journey and everything like that, I was a little bit more, I don't know, I feel like I didn't have much direction or maybe drive or maybe I don't know, something to chase. I just kind of felt like I was just around. Let's just put it like that. I was just around kind of. But fitness has kind of helped me to develop some core values, like always chasing something and wanting more, whether that's better lifestyle, better physique, better like interactions with people, better way of like dealing with things. It's helped me to be better in those sort of ways where it's like, if I didn't have fitness in my life, I would still be looking to improve in so many ways because I can still kind of apply that logic to so many different aspects of life. So that's why I said that it depends. And it feels like if I never had fitness in my life in the first place, I think I'd be a much different person. I'd probably still just have no sense of direction or what I want to do in life or how I want to be successful or all these sort of things. But whereas like where I've had that now, if that was to be taken away, I think I'd be all right.
Well, we've had this conversation a couple of times about the fact of always wanting more. When would enough ever happen?
I feel like, obviously, this is me saying this now, right? I think there's a vision. I think we all have a vision, isn't it, of like, I don't know, whether it's like, well, maybe as a guy anyways, like for me, I'll speak for myself. I can imagine myself maybe like, I don't know, 40, let's say 45. I feel like this is supposed to be like your sort of like prime years as a guy. Maybe not physically, but in terms of maybe accomplishments or whatever, right? And I see myself, I don't know, with the family, happy wife, happy kids, living in some, I mean, I'm from London, so I'm from like an inner city sort of like vibe, or living away from everything, peaceful, and just the people around me are like comfortable and protected. Like my parents are like good, my siblings are good. Like that I feel like if I'm at a point where I'm like, I feel like, okay, I can relax, like everyone's sorted, I can keep doing what I'm doing, maybe then I feel like that's where I'd be like, yeah, I'm satisfied. I'm not someone who just wants everything. I'm not one of those people. I know like there's some people who are, I'm sure you've met some of them who are like serial, like want to be number one person in the entire world and like richest person in the entire world type of vibe. I don't think that's me. I think for me, it's when I'm satisfied that everyone around me is good and comfortable and I can help out whoever needs help or just take care of like those around me and those that I love. I think that would be the point where I would be like, okay, I'm satisfied. But obviously I'm far away from where I want to be now. So, boy, I don't know. I'm still chasing that dream, I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you were to say what enough would be at the time that you are now, like, if I get to this point, I'll be happy. Hormozy says this thing where he says, you've already achieved the things that you said you would be happy achieving. You've already surpassed those goals. I'm sure there was a time a couple of years ago where you were like, if I got to this point, I'll be happy. But here you are now, and there's obviously always the moving goalposts.
Yeah.
So I think it's easy to say that I'll be happy with getting to that point. You never know. Maybe when you are there, but just
There's always going to be something, and that's why it's hard, because I don't know, man. It's like I don't know if you remember. I think we had this conversation. I think it was me and you, anyways, when he was talking about how like you should be happy with. I think he said something like, I should be happy with, like, more happy with when something good happens in life, and not be so down when something doesn't go well. I don't know if do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I get the gist.
Yeah,
Of what you're saying.
and it's like when I guess when you're trying to reach a goal, right? And then because you've already seen it, and you've already, like, in your head, that's what you're chasing. Once you get there, it's like, this is just what I'm supposed to do, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't feel like, once you've then achieved that goal, it doesn't feel like, obviously it feels nice, but then after a while it's just stale, because it's like, this is just what I'm supposed to do. And then you kind of have to, like, chase after the next thing. And I kind of feel like that's just how life is, man. Because even if, like I said, let's say, 45 or me or whatever, everyone good, and I'm like, okay, cool, everyone around me is comfortable, I can be satisfied at that point. There's probably going to be some sort of new challenge or whatever that I'm going to want to take on, because I don't know, that's just because then life will probably just be boring. What am I going to do? Just read a book or don't know. There's only so many books I'm going to want to read, probably. But it's like, we've always got to kind of chase something, or have some sort of challenge, or have some sort of something to strive for, something that makes you get up in the morning and, just live life. Like, so I don't think I don't know if there's any humans out there that have ever been fully, like, satisfied with their life or whatever, but there's always something new. There's always something new to chase, always something new to live for. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big questions I always ask myself, is like, when do you stop pursuing more? But it's so hard to find, like, the line between the two, because say you always get that feeling of, I need to do more. There's negative sides to that, but there's also obviously the positive sides, where it means that you're constantly working, you're constantly achieving. So outwardly you're successful, whereas inwardly you might not be. But in order to gain that inward success by being happy with where you are, you have to sacrifice some outward success.
Yeah,
which is a hard decision to make.
but maybe though, that's, again, even whether you're searching for that success within, not like outside success, maybe that's what you then, the next level of what is you need to chase is. It doesn't necessarily mean, like, let's say you've got everything that you need to, like, I think it was Will Smith said something like, once you basically got all the money in the world, it means nothing to you. Like, there's nothing else for you to chase. You don't have to work hard for anything. And this is where a lot of people struggle with now, because now you've dealt with everything externally.
Yeah.
Now you have to work in terms of who you are as a person. So I think maybe that's the stage, maybe I don't speak for him or anything, but maybe that's the stage that he's at now, where it's like, everything he wanted to achieve in terms of the outside world, he has. No one can, talk about, like, how he hasn't achieved what he's achieved everything. Now he needs to look within himself and make himself a better person. So again, that's just something new to chase. So it doesn't have to be something so external. So you never know, maybe that's the point where it's like, you're satisfied with everything outside, but inside it's like, now we're going to start working on your character and maybe build a better relationship with people, or your family, or long lost cousins, or whatever it is. So
yeah, and that's a good way of thinking about it. It's like another threshold, that you have to pass into.
Yeah.
What advice do you give to other people that you still find hard to take yourself?
There's so many, bro. There's so many. Definitely one of them, probably don't be too hard on yourself. It's so easy. I'm big hypocrite, bro. Major hypocrite. Because I would tell someone, don't worry. I'll tell them people like, don't worry about it. Like, take your time, one step at a time. That sort of, like, just to, because I feel like when people are maybe in like difficult situations or situations where it's so hard, like so difficult to handle, I think it's important for them to take a second and just look at things from like almost maybe like a video game kind of, and like, let's do this first, right? Maybe grab this and then we can do this and then we can do this and then we can do this and then we've achieved the goal of the overall goal, whatever. So I always try and like get people to basically just calm down and just, first of all, don't worry. All right, what's the first thing that we can do? What's the next thing that we can do? That sort of thing. And I'll probably tell them like, a lot of advice I give is like, stay true to who it is that you want to be. And what it is that you truly want, because it's so good asking, you know, if you need advice is good. Don't get twisted, but don't take it as like something that you should do. Does that make sense? Because that might be what that person would do if they're in your situation, right? Which is good. And then you can maybe look at what someone else would do in that situation, and maybe what another person could look in that situation. But then it's like, okay, but you're the one that's in the situation now. What do you want from this outcome? I don't know. Let's say if someone's in a relationship or something, and someone's telling you, oh, you should leave him. Another person's telling, no, you should work it out. It's like, but what is, because they can't live within they're not living your body. They're not, you know, how do you feel when you wake up at, you know, 7 a.m. in the morning and the first thing you think about is, oh, I fucking hate this, yeah. Do you hear me? Like, they're not there living that experience. So stay true to, and really think about what it is that you want and what it is that's going to make you happy. Now, going back to the question of, what advice would I give? Do I give that I should probably follow more? It's definitely not be too hard on yourself, because I think it's hard, man. Like, we're all probably our own biggest critics, because again, especially for people who like, I don't know, want more out of life and things like that. Like, you're always kind of in that flux of, I need to do more. I need to do this. I need to do that. Especially as I don't know, I'm sure for a lot of women as well. Like, there's a lot of women that I've met, like, even recently, that I can go-getters, man, even more than a lot of guys than I know. So it's like, so yeah, you're always thinking like, oh, I can do more, especially with things like social media. You know, you can see, I saw a meme the other day. It was like when I'm having a good day and I see someone my age bought a house or something. Yeah, it's your fault, bro. If I get invested in Bitcoin, exactly, when I was 9 years old or something. But yeah, it's like there's always all these things that, you know, you're thinking, I should have this and I should have that, but everyone's situation is different. Whether it's a starting point is different, or wherever it is that, or whatever it is that you've been through, or maybe how you were in the past wasn't aligned with how you are now or how you want to be. So you kind of had to take this journey or whatever. So it's like, but because when you see things like that and you're seeing like success and stuff like that, obviously you can be happy for the person, but it makes you also want more as well, because you feel like maybe you're being left behind by the world or whatever it is. So definitely not being too hard on yourself is one thing that I need to probably work on more, that I tell a lot of people to do, because there's times where it's like I can just be, I don't know, and it can hit from out of nowhere. I don't know what the term for it is, where it's like you could just be chilling and all of a sudden you're just thinking about how you're not really successful yet. You're not where you want to be, and all of a sudden your mood just changes and it's like, it's rough. But yeah.
You mentioned about being true to yourself. How do you think someone can be more true to their authentic self?
I feel like we all know there's a difference between what we want to do and what we think we should do. And I think when you get to the point where you're able to separate those things, this is another thing maybe why social media is not so great, because social media will have things that you think that you should do, right? What's that thing that people do now? Is that trend of like, I don't know, buy a house at 25, get married at 27, have kids by 30 or something. I'm sure so many people probably think that way as well, like that's what I should do. But maybe a lot of people don't want to do that. Maybe a lot of people don't even want to have kids. There's so many people who don't even want to buy a house. They don't want like the responsibility of that. So like, if you're able to separate what it is that you should do and what it is that you actually genuinely want for yourself, I think that's the point where you can be more. And again, it's probably not going to be perfect. If it was, then I'd be a zen. I mean, I'd be like, yeah, I could separate what it is that what I want to do versus, what it is that what I should be doing. But that's just, I don't know, it's just not, it's hard to do. And if you're able to do it more times than not, then in that way you'd be able to stay true to yourself more often than not, if that makes sense. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's definitely hard to do. Like I don't know anyone who could probably do that, but if you're able to get to that point, like I said, more times than not, then for the most part, the decisions that I think you make would be more for yourself than what you think you should be doing. Because I feel like sometimes in life, you're just within checklists or meeting checkpoints or whatever. You're just like, get GCSEs, get my A-levels, go to uni, get a job, get a car, get a house, get married, get kids. But it's like, okay, but within all of that, maybe you didn't want to have, maybe you didn't want to have a kid at 30, maybe you wanted to have a kid at 35 or 38, or maybe you didn't want to have a car actually, but you actually, you're more of an outdoor person and you like to cycle, whatever, but because of the image of like, oh, why are you cycling to work at, 35 years old? You think, maybe I shouldn't do that, I should actually get a car. So many people will be like, instead of getting a car that, it's just like can get you from A to B or whatever, look how many people will be like finance their car, because then I can't be driving a 2010 Ford. I need to be driving a Mercedes or something from 2023 or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just meeting checklists. So if you're able to kind of really think about what it is that you want and not what, like, let's say if no one else was here, if no one else lived in the world, right? What is it that you would do? I would definitely still do fitness for sure. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if there was no one else in the world, I would still want to be in shape because I like to feel good. I like to, it makes me feel on point. It makes me feel like I've got, even if I have a terrible day, I'm going to have the laziest day in the world. If I work out, great day. I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, I guess, yeah, like I said, if you're able to separate those things, then more times than not, I think you'll be able to stay true to yourself.
I think it kind of leads back to high agency, right? It's just being able to think for yourself. There's this one picture online somewhere. There's probably a couple iterations of it, but there's one person facing this massive crowd and he's saying, yes, I think you're all wrong. And it's just the idea of being able to think for yourself. It's like, by the time people tell you something is a good investment, it's probably not a good investment anymore. It's like the decision you make when you're alone in the room with no other external factor influencing you to this certain decision, and you've done the math, you've done the calculations, like, oh, this is right. I think this is right. And everyone else is going to probably tell you, like, you're wrong. If you end up being wrong, go double check your math. You're probably wrong in that aspect. The other thing was about not letting other people's perceptions and thoughts of you influence your decisions. That's kind of what you tapped into about, like, either getting a car that gets you from A to B or financing a Mercedes. That's because you want other people to think of you in a certain way. I think that sort of thing about the way that people perceive you versus who you are yourself, with most people at least, there tends to be a big disconnect.
Yeah,
I think it happens a lot more, especially when you get into like the influencer route of things and people online. The kind of people who they are in person versus who they are online, there tend to be a big disconnect between the two.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's an interesting topic to like tap in.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot that can go into. I don't know, man. I feel like in life we're always trying to figure out who we are, and it can be in the world where everything feels so crowded now. You're always getting bombarded with, whether it's an ad about a skin product you should be using, or some workout that you should be doing, or a car you should be driving, or a holiday that you need to go to today. Like, I mean, like, you're always getting bombarded with something or another. You can walk outside, you won't even have to blink before you see something being promoted to you about something that you should do. And I think it makes it harder for you to be who you are really, because then it's like you want all of these things, but maybe you want all these things because of just external factors. It's not really what it is that you want here. I think I can probably say to myself what I want out of life is, from a base simple like perspective, is for me to be happy, people around me to be happy, and tell people I love, friends and family, to be comfortable, and where things like financial issues isn't a problem, or an area they live in isn't a problem, or people can be more of who they are in a positive way. And a simple aspect of it, that's what I want. But also I want a nice car. Now, you know what I mean? I want to go on nice holidays. I want nice clothes, because if everyone else has these things, I'm like, if I don't have these things, maybe I feel as good, or I don't feel like I look as good, or I don't feel like I'm presented well. But so it's hard to kind of fight that balance. And there's some people who, I mean, you see them, it's like, well, you can tell that they don't care about like the external stuff. And I'm not saying I'm not jealous of it, but I feel like you can appreciate when someone is like that. I'm sure you met some people who you're just like, you're the most probably down to earth person that I've ever met in my life. They don't give a monkeys about what anyone else is doing, what anyone else is wearing. They'll have whatever hairstyle they want to wear, dress however the hell they want to dress, speak however the hell they want to speak, and do whatever it is that makes them happy. It could be anything from like, I don't know, sitting in a park somewhere and just literally by themselves, doing nothing, not listening to anything, not watching anything, and they're just chill. They're just having the best time of their life. And it's like, I have an appreciation for people who are like that, because they're able to just come into the world and just kind of experience it. Do you know what I mean? And just live it, instead of coming into the world and trying to chase and get this and get this and get that and get that. So it's hard though, man. It's hard.
Yeah, Adam Sandler did that. If you saw at the Oscars, and yeah, this guy just came in. What was he wearing, like jorts or something? He was wearing like a blue hoodie and just big ass shorts.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, man. But that's maybe for him as well. I don't know what he was like before, because I don't know, what's he been acting for now? Years now, anyways, like since I was a little kid. Well, I'm sure probably before he thought he needed to chase these things, he needs to have like a suit when he goes to the Oscars or whatever it is. But then once he's achieved everything that he wants to,
yeah,
now he's looking within like, okay, how can I be a better person? He's like, okay, wait, why do I care if this person, what tuxedo I'm wearing, or why do I care what car I'm driving, or whatever it is? So now he's kind of maybe he's in that stage now where he's like, he can just actually live in the world and experience it for what it is fully, instead of always just trying to chase something. So,
okay. Now, the question that I think about when it comes to this is, I can't lie, I've just lost my train of thought.
What do you mean, man? The focus train, bro.
Oh yeah, of course. Maybe I need to
to sit, man. Come on.
Something to do with high agency, man.
Of the your ears off, bro.
All right. You wanna be true to who you are, but say there's a person who is typically lazy, as in they're like drawn towards that sort of laziness and not doing work, and they are pretty happy in that way. For them to work out and look after themselves and work hard, it doesn't feel natural to them. That isn't who they are. Is that still inauthenticity, or are they like creating a new layer of themselves?
As in terms of, if they then force themselves to do those things, is it authentic? I think this is a perfect question for me, because remember I told you who I was before is not maybe who I am now, right? I think before I was probably in that category of lazy. I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to do no work. I just wanted to just chill out, play games, watch TV shows, whatever, and fucking eat shit food or whatever it is. Like, that was definitely me. Yeah, right? But there's something in the back of your mind that just knows that this isn't it. And I feel like everyone has a stage where they're ready to now progress to the next level. Some people, it could be when they were switched on since they were 12, 13. Some people are switched on maybe when they're 18. Some people 21. Probably others maybe when they have a kid or whatever. So everyone's got the level or the period, or maybe it could be something that's happened in their life that makes them go, okay, I need to lock in now. And I definitely had to like fight a lot of my natural, bro, I can't be asked to go to the gym today, or my natural, I just want to have. I've had some shocking breakfast, to be honest with you. Like, I'll just have like a Coke and a croissant or something, or a Coke and some cake, right? Then I won't eat nothing. I'll have lunch, will be like a packet of Pringles, and then dinner would be like mom's cooking or something like that. Like, but that's an example of that. I had to be like, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wake up at 7 or 6 in the morning. I'm going to make myself a nice healthy breakfast. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the libraries to study. I'm going to do this. Like, because maybe in a way I'm kind of, I would say I'm faking it. I'm not faking it. I don't think I was faking it. Like, I think it was more of a, you should be doing more. And you can accept that maybe I could be like, I'm lazy. Even for like my clients, for example, I'll tell them I'm the laziest person in the world, right? But one thing I can definitely do is find a fucking efficient way to do something that I don't want to, you know what I mean? So I will say to myself, I remember when I was like, if a gym is probably more than 20 minutes away from me, especially at that time, yeah, no chance, bro. You won't catch me. That maybe go once or twice. Or if that journey is longer than 20 minutes, I know damn well there's going to be a day that day that I don't go, that's it, I'm done. Yeah. So my gym was 2-minute walk, around the corner. Yeah. Around the corner. If I've got snacks in my cupboard, cooked, I'm eating those, bro. That day, if I buy a pack of, I don't know, custard creams or something, that's getting finished that day. I don't have snacks in my, since then, I don't have snacks in my, like, I don't keep snacks around me. Yeah. My fridge is full of, if I'm going to like eat food, there's chicken breast in there, there's beef in there, there's healthy stuff. So making sure you kind of have to like know yourself and know what your weaknesses are. So you can be like, for another example is, like I said, I'm lazy. I know I've always hated running, right? I'm not going to choose a style of fitness that's going to involve running. That's going to involve cardio, right? So what's the modalities that I'm going to do? Obviously, I can do like a bit of bodybuilding, but maybe powerlifting, or that's never going to do high rocks, bro. I'm never going to do high rocks. Yeah. I like swimming. So things like that. But like, what do I want to do? But if I'm going to be in shape, what's the most efficient way to do it? Find out is about bodybuilding, because it's like you go in there, work out for maybe an hour, and you just have to eat a certain way, have a bit of structure, and boom, like you can achieve a physique that you want within, I don't know, months or whatever it is, depending on genetics and that. So pretty much just knowing, like I said, knowing what your weaknesses are and what it is that you have to be true to yourself and say to yourself, you know what, I am lazy, right? But how can I be less lazy? What is the minimum that I can do to achieve the goal that I want? So it kind of started off from there. Now you're doing something that maybe you actually enjoy doing. And now it's not even a thing of like, it's work. It's just something that you like to do. You like to go into the gym and work hard. You like to eat a certain way. You like to, even if I wasn't gymming, I'd definitely still eat the same way, which is probably bad because I'll be eating like 3,000 calories, but I'll still be getting 240 grams of protein. Yeah, sure. I mean, like, so that's what I say. Yeah. So like knowing what your weaknesses are and knowing like what is the minimum thing that I have to do every day to achieve whatever goal it is I want to do. That's what I'll do. So it's not, I don't think it's like, it's not genuine. You're just still being true to yourself. It's just that you know that, okay, this is where I need to now make a next step, because that's just how life is. And you know, when you're a kid, there was a point where you're like, right, I'm at school, my shoelaces are undone, and mom's not here, I need to tie my shoelaces. There's always a certain point where now you've got to just make that jump and just be by yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're in uni, your mom's cooked for you your whole life. Okay, you're gonna burn the chicken first. Maybe second time you forgot to put salt in it. Yeah. Maybe third time again you burnt it. But eventually, now you made that step to then make yourself be a decent cook. At least you can feed yourself. So yeah, like I said, it's not, you're not being genuine. You're just making that next step. You can't stay the same in life like a whole way through. Who I was when I was 10 years old is different to who I was when I was 15, and that's different to who I was at 20 compared to who I am now at 27. completely different person.
It's like shedding of your old personality to then create a new one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things I want to tap into. So there was the first about keeping like the custard creams out of the cupboards. It's better to remove yourself from a certain situation than it is to use willpower to avoid doing it. It's like you can take many examples of this. It's like you don't want to cheat on your partner. Don't go to a club. Don't put yourself in a situation where that even becomes a percentage. You're better off just being somewhere where that doesn't even happen.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing with this. It's like know your weaknesses and put yourself in situations where those weaknesses don't arise.
At all. You don't have to fight them.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing, man. It's like if you've got a crackhead, sorry, any crackheads out there, you guys are great. But if you got a crackhead, right? Best thing that they will tell them is, okay, they're not going to tell you to keep alcohol or keep coke in your fridge or whatever. I don't know. I'm not supposed to like cracking about stuff like that, can I say? But I would imagine best thing to do would be to make sure you ain't got no crack in your house, because then you don't have to look at it and be like, no, I'm not going to have that. Because there's going to be that one day where you put, I was just gone. Willpower, you've had a long day, someone shouted at you at work, you crash your It's been a long day. You get home, and that's just there. It's just looking at you, bro. It's glowing. You already see you've already seen it as soon as you walked in the door, because you know where it is. You've already envisioned it. So there's don't try and fight like your willpower, because you can fight maybe for a couple of days, but there's gonna be one day where it's like you just don't have it in you. But if you don't have whatever your weakness is there, like you said, if maybe for someone who is prone to, a bit of what's the word when you have a lot of sex anyway, sorry, or someone who maybe cheats on their partner, promiscuity. That's it, promiscuity. You would avoid maybe going to like clubs, or I don't know, maybe at strip clubs or anywhere where you can, maybe if you have a bit of alcohol as well, it's like things can go. Just avoid that, just because willpower obviously could take you to so many different places. But there's going to be days where you're just not going to be able to fight. You just don't have it in you, because we're not, obviously, as we try and be, I feel like we try and be as consistent every day as possible, but some days we're just not. There's some days where, like me naturally, I kind of want to, I don't know, me naturally, I don't maybe talk to people as much like as I probably should, right? And over the past, I say maybe like year or so, I've made it more of a point to be more, I definitely won't say I'm extroverted, but just be more open to like, whether it's like conversations and meeting new people. I say, before I was very much, I don't really care about meeting people. I don't give monkeys. But now over the past like year, I've been more intentional about meeting more people and being more positive and have maybe a more positive or more approachable facial expression. I'm still working on it, but things like that. But it's like, there's some days where, for example, I come into the gym and I just don't even want to saying. Yeah, there's going to be some days where it's just like, I'll be like, oh no, this person's going to come here, we're going to talk for like 10 minutes. There's going to be some days where it's like that. But I don't know, man. So it's hard for us to be consistent when there's something that we're trying to fight or trying to push away, or that we're trying to move away from. So if you just remove the thing that could pull you back in, it just makes it so much easier. Because why make it harder, man? Why make it hard? So yeah. All right, let's move on to. Actually, I went to tap onto something else as well. Previously, that you were talking about, just in the space of things, about that accepting that you might be lazy, like just being able to tell yourself like, I'm a pretty lazy person. How do I not be lazy? I think you may have seen me talk about a few times the difference between self-affirmation and self-acceptance. And self-affirmation being that you get 60% on the test, but then you tell yourself, oh, it's fine, I got 60%, because if I were to do that test again, I know I could get 100%. Whereas self-acceptance is, I got 60%. Therefore, I am 60%. Like, my skill level for this is 60%. How do I get to 100%?
instead of saying to yourself, yeah, I got this, but I know I could get X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
It's the same thing about this. It's like, yeah, I'm lazy. Not saying that I was lazy today, but I know if I really wanted to, I could do this. I am a lazy person. How do I not be a lazy person?
Yeah.
And then you take the steps.
Yeah, to do that. Yeah. And that's something that it's like, you see that a lot, man. There's people who, I don't know, you could have a race with someone when you was a kid or something. I'd be like, yeah, I could have won, but if I really tried, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, if I really want it, but you probably wouldn't still. You kind of have to, like, you probably got, like, so let's say if you get a grade, you probably got 60% because you deserve 60%, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like, because of not necessarily because, I mean, it could be maybe you've had family issues or you couldn't study or you were stressed out or whatever it is. But whatever you put on that paper deserved 60%. Now, like you said, you can look at it and say, oh, I got 60%, but if I didn't have this, I didn't have that, I would have got 100. You probably still wouldn't, but you know, but it's probably better for you to look at it as like, all right, I got 60%. This is what I got. How do I get to 70 or 80 or 90, whatever your goal is? So it's definitely better to look at things in that way. But I mean, we'll let people who are like the opposite side of it, and it's just like, yeah, bro.
Well, speaking about willpower, tell me about a moment that you thought, I can't do this.
I think probably more recently is with like my coaching business. I think when I first started, I started 2023 around September, October. I think, I'm trying to remember what the situation was. I wanted to get a promotion at work. I didn't get it, right? Then I was like, all sad or whatever, or emotional. But I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. And I've been thinking about, you know, where I was in terms of like how I'd built my physique and maybe the knowledge I have and all these sort of things. And thinking like, maybe I should do some coaching. I feel like maybe I can do it. You know, initially when an idea is there, it's exciting. It's like, oh yeah, this is good. I should definitely do it. But I kept procrastinating and saying, oh, maybe I need to get this first. I need to get this qualification first. I need to maybe work in a gym first. I need to do this first and all this, and just kind of saying things in my head that would basically delay the process, right? And then once I got to that point where I was like, you know, I didn't get promotion and they're like just sad or whatever, thinking I'm piece of shit. I was like, you know what, let me actually give this a go, right? So I went into my gym at the time. There were these two girls. Shout out to both of them. Honestly, amazing, because they really could have just said no. I was just like, even when I was talking to them, and this was even before I was going through my whole, you know, let's talk to more people and stuff. So I was really coming out of my comfort zone. I had never spoken to them before as well. But I remember I went into the I went into the change rooms of the gym class to prep myself. I'm looking at the mirror, bro. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to be like, hey guys, I remember you guys from the gym. I was practicing my dialogues or whatever place I'm going to say like some weirdo in the gym change rooms, bro. In the gym change rooms. Luckily, no one was there. Looking at myself, making sure I'm more like clean and presentable, whatever. Then I walk out and then I was about to go and then someone else came to talk to them. So I'm like, you know, that was not the right time. I'll go walk away or whatever, go and train or whatever. And at that point, I'm thinking, oh, you know what I'm just going to do? I just maybe ask on a different day or whatever. But I don't know, something in me just kind of said like, just go, just do it. What's the worst that can happen, right? Just have a conversation at least to start with. Instead of even just coming on and just coming there and just saying, hey guys, I'm doing this coaching thing, blah, blah, blah. So I just went there and I just started a conversation like, literally, oh, you guys used to go to the gym group, innit? Yeah, blah, blah. And then we just started talking about how rubbish the gym was and how there was like 600 people in that. Honestly, bro, that gym is probably the worst gym I've been to in my life. Like, there's like 600 people in that gym. It's ridiculous. Go there at 5 p.m. Pure fuck. It's commercial gyms at different levels. Walls. Have you been to that gym? No, the gym group here, this area, in Nottingham City Centre. No, I haven't. If you go there, let's say November, there's students there, people are working. Go there at like 5 p.m. Absolutely war zone, bro. Well, in World War Z over Israel. It's similar to JD gyms, literally right behind where I live.
right behind Nottingham 2, which is a massive student accom, you have JD gyms. And the only reason it doesn't look that packed most of the time is because it's massive.
Yeah.
If it was any smaller, I swear to God, I've seen memes scrolling through Instagram where that gym has come up and it's just been like, it's just fucking Love Island.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
Love Island, actually imagine, that's crazy, bro. You just, boy, everyone's the same age, people are working out, endorphins and that float, boy, it's big. So yeah, we were just talking about how crazy that gym is, even stuff like how people were like always flirting and blah blah blah. And I don't know, I feel like my personality kind of came out a little bit more as I got maybe comfortable with speaking to them or whatever. Anyway, I ended up saying like, oh, I'm starting this coaching thing. I've been working on my physique for a while now, and I kind of want to like use the opportunity to see if I can help other people out. And they're like, oh, this is great, because it's like they just left the gym group, and the trainer that was there before, they just felt like it didn't want to do it anymore. And I think the amount that they said he was charging was ridiculous or whatever. I'm like, hell yeah, like, yeah, I'm great. I'll do this for free. So literally I was like, I'll do this for free. Like, let's go. So they were like, yeah, we'll sign up. And I had a few friends as well that I put out like little outreach from like, oh guys, I want to start doing this. And I had like, I think it was two of my friends sign up as well. So I just put them like, okay, cool. I've got 4 people here. Let's go. Let's make the program. So now I'm looking at everyone's, like, after I do like everyone's like initial, I know we call it, not a check-in, but initiation, sort of like consultation kind of. Right. Yeah. So just to like know what's their experience with training and everything that you need anyways to basically onboard someone, sign someone up, right? Now I'm looking at, okay, this person needs 3 days a week. This person needs 4 days. This person can only give me 2. What's this person's diet like? This person's overweight. Not their BMI, but like what their body fat percentage is, sort of is, because I can see how everyone looks from like their pictures and stuff, what their goals are. And then I'm there like, how the hell do I even make a program for someone? I've got all of this. I've got all of it set up now. I've got the people that I'm going to train. I've got the apps that I'm going to use. I've got basically everything else. Now it's like, okay, how am I going to make the programs for everyone else? I don't even know what exercise they like. I don't even know what gyms they go to. I'm like, do I even know what I'm doing here, right? So there's a lot of like self-doubt, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't even know how to coach someone. And I started going on like YouTube and looking at like how to make a program and how to do this and how to do that. And then I'm even there trying to go on like ChatGPT and stuff like, oh, as a coach, what sort of program should I give someone who is wants to go to the gym for, and it's telling them stuff like burpees or whatever. I'm just like, it doesn't show me. So I think for the first, I'd say maybe week or so, I was just thinking to myself like, and my girlfriend at the time, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was like, this is something that's, because I've never done it before. I've never like, even something like teach, I've never really had to teach anything. So at this point, as a coach and being a coach, I feel like it's something that's more than just exercise, bro. Like, it can get pretty personal, because people now are actually, not only do they look, not trying to, it's just going to make me sound like egotistical in a way, but look up to you in a way of like, just from a physique standpoint, because you've wanted the physique, right? And you're chasing that physique, and maybe you're closer to, in their head anyways, closer to the goal that they'd want. So it's like, they're like, okay, I want to be maybe someone like you, or maybe the type of dedication you have for this and stuff like that, right? So not only that, but also they're looking for someone to basically tell them what to do, essentially. And with that comes like a level of trust now that they have with you, and they can have maybe certain conversations outside of the gym where it's like personal stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, where it could be, maybe I'm having this situation with my partner, and it's quite vulnerable as well, because the reason why a lot of people want to improve their physique a lot of the time is because of external factors. It could be because either they're not happy with the way they look, or someone said a comment, or maybe they don't feel like, in fact, for a couple of even men and women actually, like they want to look sexier for their partner. Do you know what I mean? Like things like that. They want their partner to, whether it's like look at their arms and I hold it or whatever it is, like they want that because they feel like it's going to improve their relationship or something like that. Or especially if they have like a partner, there's like a lot of time there's maybe one partner who's maybe more fit than the other, or one that isn't as unfit as the other, and they want to like be like their partner in a way, but maybe they have the difficulties of doing that. So, and when you're doing like your check-ins or your sign-ups and stuff like that, or the consultation, you're just talking, right? A lot of those, there's a certain level of trust now that they have in you to then portray or to tell you their insecurities, essentially. Like, why is that they want a certain physique, what it's going to do for them, how it's going to make them happy, how it's going to change their life, and all these things like that. And I think that was a part where I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because I'm not the sort of person who even wants to be able to deal with other people's BS. I'll be so real. I used to absolutely hate dealing with other people's bullshit, bro. When someone starts telling me, bro, my boys know this, I'm a cunt, I'll be so real. Our boys know this, I'm an absolute dickhead. Don't come to me with any issues, because I'll probably just laugh, right? And so this is where I am at that point. That's what I mean. Like, it's crazy because it's only been like 2 years. So like, usually when people are telling me some stuff, I'm like, bro, why are you like, just go to do your gym sessions and just eat the food I'm telling you to eat, bro. So at this time, I'm kind of like struggling. I need to have like a mind shift. Like, hold on, if this is actually something that you need to do, this is just part of the game, bro. Like, and if anything, it's gonna make me better. But at that time, this is me looking at it from now, in terms of like looking back retrospectively. But at that time, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, because I'm there trying to think about, first of all, what program to do. I don't even know anything about running the business. Like, I didn't even know about like how am I gonna find a return. I wasn't even thinking about that, bro. I was even thinking like, first of all, what am I gonna do? What app am I gonna? I'm stressed. Like, 'cause I'm thinking, I don't know if I can build it. I've got all these people now who are looking forward to this service that I'm gonna provide. How the hell am I gonna do this? And I have a lot of like, I'm therefore someone who does with a lot of like self-doubt, for sure. Like, I think a lot of the time, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if I'm good enough to do this, or I don't know if I've, like, from the core, that's generally like something I'm still battling to this day. So at that time, I'm like, there's a lot of that side of my brain's telling me like, you know what, just leave it. You're not ready. You need to do this course. You need to do this. You need to do that. You're not ready yet. So I really had to just like, I don't know. I feel like no one else can give you the motivation to do something unless you do it. Like, you just have to do it yourself. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. You can have Commander Urban give you a flipping, have you watched Attack Titans?
No, I need to, or I need
Also, yeah, the reference.
I have been.
If anyone you watch Attack of Titans, you know what I'm talking about, right? Basically, he's just this motivator from Attack of Titans, and he just leads 100 people to death because he's just so motivational in his speech or whatever. But yeah, you could have the most inspirational person, Alex Hormozy, it doesn't matter who it is, right? Give you the best prep talk, the biggest like motivational speech or whatever. At the end of the day, he's not going to do it for you. He's not going to make you start this podcast. You have to do it yourself, right? So as much as like people around me, even like my parents and my brother, for example, my brother, he started his business like when he was basically like 16, 17 or whatever. And he was telling me like, yo, like, you should start doing it, like, blah, blah, blah. But I'm there thinking like, nah, I'm not ready, blah, blah, blah. No one else could tell me, doesn't matter. Like, I could be motivated in that time when they're talking to me, 10 minutes later, gone. Like, yeah, motivation gone. So you kind of just have to take that step yourself and say, okay, let's just swim. Fuck it, let's just dive into that water, like, and then we'll deal with the situation however it comes. So despite all of the, I don't know if I can do this, I've never coached anyone before, I don't even know how to, like, you just kind of learn in the process. And but I think your question was like, how do you kind of, or was it how do you overcome self-doubt? Was that what that?
No, we started on like where there was a moment that you said I can't do this.
Oh yeah, that's it. So yeah, in this situation where I'm thinking I can't, I don't know if I can do this, like, because there's so many things that I don't know how to do. This is all completely brand new to me. That was the moment, like, I remember I was just there because I had like a adjustable desk or whatever. I'm just there in my chair, just rolling around, just thinking, right. I left it for a couple of days, and I think the first program I did was literally the day before that person was trading, because I didn't know what to do. I'm there watching YouTube videos. Bro, bear in mind, at this point, I'd been going to the gym now for year and a half, because I started in 2021. We're 2021 and 2021 May. Oh no, so maybe about 2 years now, 2.5 years.
Goddamn alien genetics.
Let's go. So So yeah, like, and I'm at this point, and I didn't just train in a way that's like, I thought I was pretty lucky with maybe the information that I sought out and stuff that really helped me to like avoid all the BS in fitness, right? And at this point, it's like I should really just trust my knowledge, right? And just say, okay, in terms of programming and how to eat, just trust them. But I was just looking for the external, like looking for someone who knows better than me, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Google Scholar, whether it's on some sort of book or TikTok or Instagram, just looking for someone else. And at that point, I'm just grabbing bits from someone else that's to just coach the people that I'm working with. It's not me as coaching them, it's someone else coaching. So I kind of just like, I remember that night, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the program for the girls, right? Especially for the girls, because I remember I was like, I don't even know, how do I grow a bum? What the hell? Well, it's obvious. You do your sports. I'll be so real. Like, you just kind of have to just go back down to the basics. Like, hold up, calorie surplus, do exercises like with hip thrust, squats, wherever it is that's going to really target the muscle, whatever, like big compound movements and blah, blah, blah. Give a couple months, a bump there. So it's like, I kind of really just had to just ignore all of that and just kind of use a bit of willpower and just say, not willpower in a way of like, I don't know if I can achieve, not in a willpower of like, it's not physical. It's more of fighting against yourself is what I mean, innit? Fighting those urges of like, I can't do this. Fighting those urges of like, I can't be asked to do this. Fighting those urges of like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. So kind of using my willpower to kind of get out of that. And at that time as well, I was, like I said, I was pretty, let's just say my self-confidence was in the bin. Because like, shit wasn't going well. I'm like, I need to make more money. I didn't get this job. What's gonna, like, so I'd say kind of using my willpower to like overcome that situation is something that from recent memory anyways, that I remember I was like, damn, I don't know if I can do this, but I ended up doing it and I'm so glad that I came out of that because honestly, I really just, I think it was maybe the first 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, this is going well. And then someone hit me with a problem. What was it? I think it was, it was something like he wasn't able to like, wanted me to do a meal plan for him because he wasn't able to like stick to like his diet sort of like his macros or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll make you a meal plan, right? Okay, I'll do that. Asking him what sort of food he likes to eat, blah blah blah, cool. Bro, it took me, I'd say quite a few hours. I sat there, made this guy a meal plan. Bro said, yeah, for the first day, second day. After third day, he said, oh yeah, I had a Nando's. I was so, I was at that point, I'm just there, like, I don't even remember what he was saying at that point. I'm just there like, bro, that took me like 4 hours to make, bro, or 5 hours to make. And you've just said, oh yeah, I just couldn't be asked. Like, I just wanted to grab Nando's or whatever. When it's like, you asked me to do this. Yeah. So there was so many situations where I was just like, I don't know if I can be asked to do other people's stuff. Like, I can't lie to you. Like, I don't want to do this, but I really did because I was like, I feel like it's something I can be good at.
But I guess with that, there's got to be like a level of respect between the client and the person providing the service. Yeah. Where it's like, you're paying for this service.
You weren't even paying at that time.
Oh, it was just free.
It was free.
Dude, like this person's out here to help you. They're doing XYZ thing for you. And you've just went, nah. I think I saw it on, it was on Calvin's story. There was this one posing coach, who was like, I'm not going to chase you for your check-ins, but like, you're paying for this service. I'm providing you a service. I'm not going to chase you for this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I like, well, I'm so glad you brought out, because there's so many people who you just want to. So that's a God, bro. With coaching, yeah, I feel like people just want to be spoon-fed. And it's that thing of, I can tell you how to do something, right? I can make things, I could tell you maybe what barriers are going to come up, what you should avoid, because if you don't avoid this is going to happen down the line or whatever. Let's make sure that your form of this is like this way, because if not, you're going to have this sort of knee injury because because I know from experience or whatever. Or you should eat this certain way because like blah, blah, blah. And people think when they get a coach, it's all going to be fine. Like they're just going to be told what to do and this is going to be easy and they're going to get their goal at the end of it after like whatever the time frame is that they've got in their mind, right? And then your coach will tell you to do something
you don't do it. You don't do it consistent. I think Stu even said, like he has a lot of success in terms of like his coaching for like prep shows and stuff. And he said the clients who follow the plan, yeah. So, and I was like, literally, because it's like the people who do what you tell them to do, you will get, because there's just no way. There's just no way. Not trying to say it like from an arrogant standpoint or whatever, but legit, because you know how to do this. If you give this person this template or whatever it is that you give them, you tell them to follow it. Yeah, there's going to be maybe challenges or points where you might need to change or work around or whatever. But if they follow the plan, they will be successful. Now you get those people who they won't do their check-ins, or there'll be the people who they won't follow the meal plan, or they didn't go to the gym as many times as they want, or they didn't get the sleeps in, or they didn't get their steps in or whatever. And they could be doing that for time. Let's say you want to get a check-in, right? And there's someone you better, I should get a check-in this week. Sorry, blah, blah, I didn't have time to do it. Okay, cool. And then you look at like, I listen, all my clients, I aspire on them. I can't lie to you. Like, and some of them know this, because not spy on them from like, I'm there watching behind the trees and that, but from a point of like, in terms of the day that they're putting in, like if they don't go to a session on the day, I can see it, because I'm always looking. I can see that I'll make a note of it. I'll be like, okay, cool, didn't go to the session today. Let's see if they, move around, work around or whatever. Sometimes I'll message them like, oh, do you want me to move this day around for you? Like, just to make sure that, because I use an app to like do it so that they basically have to do anything. All they have to do is just go in there, take that they've done this way, do this, make it as easy as possible for them to that they can't fail basically. It's like, yeah, this is enough. So if they don't do it, I will know, right? Because I'm always watching, know that I'm able to watch. So, what was I saying? So yeah, like if they don't track their meals, for example, and I'm like, what am I supposed to work with here? Do you know what I mean? I have no idea what you ate yesterday. I have no idea what you ate the day before. I don't know what calories you've eaten, what your protein is, what your carbs is, or any other thing that you need in terms of like your fats is. And then, okay, cool. Now they miss the next check-in as well. And then I look again. Can't see anything that's on there. Can't see any of the data. Maybe there's a training session there. I'll be like, oh, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe they'll take a week to reply to you. Let's say now goes on for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then they'll come back here and they'll be like, I feel weak. I'm not feeling as strong, or I don't know if I thought I'd have this physique at this point. But look at all of this stuff that you didn't do, that I told you to do. It's like you just think all of a sudden, because you have a coach, you're going to be able to achieve this goal. But it's like, no, I can't make you go to the gym. I can't make you make that chicken breast. I'm not going to make it for you. The hell? I'm not going to make you make that chicken breast or the beef, or get your whatever, how much protein it is they eat. I'm not going to be able to do that for you. I can tell you what to do to help you, to guide you there. You need a horse to water, you can't make a drink sort of vibe. But you're the one that has to actually put in the work to do it. And for like a lot of people think, oh yeah, like I said, once they get a coach, like everything will be sorted. But it's just not the case, because you have to kind of make sure that you're ready for it. And then maybe I'm kind of going off on a tangent here from what I don't even remember what the original question was, I'll be real, but whatever. But it's like, for some people at the gym, for example, like a couple of them, quite a few people have like talked to me about like, prepping for a show or competing or whatever it is. And I'm like, I'll be so real. It's not even from a point of like, oh, maybe it's the person or whatever. It is not that. I'm like, I know I'm not ready. Might not even be physically well, but I know that mentally, for me to be on a prep, for me to do what it is that person wants me to do, I'm like, with everything else that's going on, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this. If I was to add that to my plate, I'm going to end up having to sacrifice that prep show. There's going to be that day or a couple of days where I'm like, I kind of want a cinnamon bun. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to eat that cinnamon bun, and I'm not going to tell you about it. Like, and I know, this is me saying like, I know who I am, right? And I tell them I am not ready yet, because I will be ready, but I'm not ready yet. And I know myself. I know that if I was to do a prep now, it's not going to go well. And then having to deal with stuff like, I'll be like, oh, I've lost all this muscle. I look lean. Yeah, I look lean, but I look small, and all of this mental stuff. I know I'm not ready yet. So I'll be honest and say, I'll be like, next year, I'll make sure that I'm prepared, right? But for this year, it's no chance, because I'm just not ready yet. So I know that like with coaching, there's only so much that your coach can do, that you have to kind of do it. There's that step that you have to take to do it yourself. Like I read this book, what was it? Something Bernard. He says that basically learning is an active thing, right? You can't teach someone something. You can tell them maybe to do something, or maybe even show them how to do it, but you can't truly teach someone how to do something. They have to try and do it themselves. Your math teacher can explain to you Pythagoras theorem a million times until you do it yourself and you fail, and then you do it again and you fail, and then you do it again and you get it.
Yeah.
You're not going to know how to do it.
This is an interesting tangent of conversation, because have you heard this thing called unteachable lessons? Right. So I think I spoke about this with Ibby. So there's certain types of lessons that cannot be told to you how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to experience them. No matter how many times someone tells you something, you won't learn it until it actually happens to you. So it's like the things like money won't buy you happiness, or you shouldn't date the pretty girl with no personality because it's probably not going to end well. You don't care. Like, most people will not care about these things. And the reason we think this is that, let me tiptoe through this minefield of mistakes and lessons that everyone has probably stepped on or tripped over. But me, being who I am, I will tiptoe past this and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Inevitably, they trip on something, or they step on the landmine, and then boom, the lesson. But it's because the emotional reaction or the consequences after are the only thing strong enough to pull you away from making that mistake again.
Fact.
But someone telling you that, oh, you shouldn't do that, or like money actually won't buy you happiness, you won't care, because the pull of the thing is way stronger than someone telling you not to do it.
Facts. But it's hard to not be like that though, man, because we're probably quite stubborn, and we all think we know what we're doing. I'm here yapping here like I don't know what I'm doing, bro. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. We all are trying to figure stuff out. Our parents are trying to figure stuff out. I remember my parents were talking about when I was younger. They'd be talking like they know exactly what they're talking about. And then I'll go up and realize, I'll be like, this guy was yapping, bro.
Yeah, their parents for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Parents for the first time, man. They don't know how to react when I just bring some next girl home and say, yeah, this is... Be like, yeah, this is my girlfriend. I'm like, oh. So we're all just trying to like figure stuff out, really, but we act like we know what we're doing, and there's that stubbornness of like you said, no, I'll be different. I'll avoid these landmines. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. With some things, you just have, like, life is not perfect, bro. We have to take the good with the bad. We're experiencing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all experiencing it. Like, you can't have 50 Cent says that joy will feel so good if it wasn't for pain, and that's real, because like you can't have joy and just have no pain at all. Like, you kind of take life as a whole, really, and there's some things you've got to go through a heartbreak. But like, doesn't matter what age you are. I mean, maybe there's some people who they fell in love when they were 11 or something like that. Yeah. And they've been in that one girl their whole life, but okay, that's fine. But they're gonna have something else that's gonna be like, maybe they'll get done dirty by a close friend that someone told them to watch out for, but they never did. There's always gonna be some sort of experience or something that no one else is gonna be. Everyone can tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do that, because this can happen. But you're like, no, I know where I'm going, I know what I'm doing. You just have to step in that trap yourself, man, and then pull yourself out and say, okay, next time that comes around, I'm not gonna try and mess around with that situation again, because it's like I said, it's unteachable lesson, man. There's some things, like, I won't say you probably can avoid it if you listened, but also you kind of need to go through that situation so that then you won't need anyone else to tell you, because you've gone through that situation yourself. And you've now got the knowledge and the experience to be like, I'm going to avoid this person, or I'm going to avoid this situation. So, yeah, man, that's just part of life, man. It's just part of life, man. We can't live it perfectly, bro.
We always got to try it anyways, because with these kind of things, because I mentioned the pull is so strong, if you don't do it and you listen to the person, given that situation, it's always a what if.
Yeah.
Like, what if when I did that thing? And then, in my conversation with Ibby, we went through like both the sides of it, and it was so I said, what if someone told you to not go down that path of the unteachable lesson, and you didn't, they could have stopped you from learning something that could have put you down a path that led you to a better life. So you could have, gone another path, got your heart broken, and then you create a new layer of yourself and you improve as an individual path there. But that person saying don't date that person has now blocked you from going down that path.
Yeah.
And then Ibby took that into account and he was like, yes, but there's the other side of it where it's like that person stopping you from going down there could then lead you onto another path that puts you on a better level than where you were with that one.
Yeah.
To go the path that you would have gone down there. So there's always the what ifs, but you just got to go down with the choice. I think I spoke about this like ages ago, to myself.
Yeah.
And it was just about the ability to make decisions quickly. And I know the speed of decision making is really important, because there's people who will stay on a decision that they want to make for like a month versus the other person who gets a decision done in like an hour. So you can move at a speed about 30 times faster than the average person by just making quicker decisions.
Yeah.
And the way that you make quick decisions, it's like, which one is your mind pulling you towards to, even if it's just a little bit. Take that decision and deal with the consequences. Yeah. Whatever it is. And being okay with the consequences and then moving past that is the way that you can continue to move forward. I think that's the best way to look out.
For sure, man. But like I said, there's always the what ifs, man. You never know. I don't know. If we was to be thinking about all of the different possibilities that could have been because of all of this, I'm sure I'm probably crazy, bro. Like, I'll be sure I'm probably insane, because I could be thinking about something that happened like 7 years ago and thinking, damn, what if I had done this and done that? Now I'm creating dialogue in my head about like our conversation if happened or whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, man. Like, I think, like I said, we're all trying to be perfect and we're all trying to get things right, because, again, I'm not blaming social media in a way, but we feel like, especially when this person's doing this person's doing that, we feel like we have to basically be perfect in whatever every decision is that we make and everything. But that's just not possible. I don't care who you are. It's just not possible. I'm sure people like Richard Branson had maybe some investments that he could have done that maybe will put him in a better situation. Or this investment that he actually did do that I thought he was going to be amazing, but maybe made him worse or whatever. Like, we can't make every decision right. But it's like you said, just kind of pull yourself towards whatever side it is that you think, that you believe in your heart. Like, because there's the side of you that's like, oh, but I could do this. But in that side of you, it's like, I should probably do this. I know they call it what, gut feeling or whatever. But authenticity is actually try and pull more towards that side. But know that whatever decision it is, there's going to be another consequence or another barrier or something, and just kind of accept it for what it is instead of now you're overthinking. Because what's the point of going back and thinking? One of the guys from the gym, Tom Pedder, he told me, I remember I was pausing in the change room and I was like, I wish I started earlier, man. I was like, I wish I started going to the gym when I was like 16, because he's 18-year-olds, man.
You're 18-year-old, yeah. People be like 17, 18, the physique of someone that's trained for like, people be like, yeah, I started gym when I was like 14. I'm like, bro, what the hell? How do you even start going? I don't even know if you're allowed to go gym. I don't know what the rules actually, but you probably are. I think it was Liam, Liam from the gym, the IFBB pros. Yeah. I think he told me that he started training from when I was 14. And I was like, how do you even know that you want to train? Like, when I was 14, bro, cause like, I didn't know. I was probably just playing basketball and just like, I was eating sweets or something like that, bro. Like, so, bro, that's third. Staying out with your friends or whatever. So yeah, I remember I was telling Tom, I was like, man, I wish I started earlier, man. Like, but he's like, what's the point of thinking about that? And it's true, because that's actually not going to that's not going to help me in the future. Like, that's not like that's gone. You can't go back in time now. So what I made that decision, or let's just say I didn't make the decision to start going to the gym sooner, or maybe to like, take my visit to a certain level or whatever it is. But it's like, me thinking about that isn't going to help me at all in any way, shape or form now, because it's gone. But it's like, now I'm here.
okay, what's the next step? What is that I want to do? How do I see myself in the future, kind of thing? So whatever path it is that you choose, you kind of have no choice but to kind of stick to it, because that time is gone now. You just have to now follow the path now and make sure that you're trying to make as many right decisions as you can. And for the most part, you know, if you're diligent and you think about it properly and you think about what it is that you want from whatever it is, more times than not, you will lean towards the, you know, the path that is correct for you, I believe anyway. So yeah,
man. About the making the right steps and having that dialogue in your head, the important distinction that people need to make is what's going on in your head and what's actually happening in reality. I've had this problem so many times, and I've spoken to people who have this problem a lot as well. It's before you make a decision, you've already created a reality of what could happen. But then when you think back and make yourself aware of what's actually happened right now, nothing's happened. So the example that I'll use is when I went to speak to Joey to get up on for the second episode. I think I took like a week to even end up bringing it to him. And I'd spoken to him on the first day, but I'd spoken to him days after that as well. But it took me so long to actually tell it. To tell him, like, do you want to be on your show? Because I made this reality in my head, like, if I go up to him, he's gonna be like, no. Well, why the hell would he want to be on my podcast? Like the photo for sure. But then I reminded myself that that's not real. Whatever I've just said in my head, I don't know if that will happen or not. It's not confirmed. The percentage chance is so, I can't even calculate it until I actually do it. So you don't know until you try. And a lot of people have this problem, whether it goes like asking that girl out or like going to speak to someone at the gym or asking their boss for a raise. It's like, we don't know what could happen until you do it. So it's just about taking the steps from that point and then just dealing with whatever happens after that. And what you realize most of the time is that, I know there's like on social media, it's like portrayed that, oh, you have to have these many rejections before you get someone to accept it, but you have to deal with the rejections. There aren't that many rejections. So, like, they're really not real. A lot of the time when you go up to people, they will say yes for whatever it is that you're asking about. Like you talked about in the coaching thing, you went up to those two girls, they said yes. And the rejections, the amount that they happen is so much lower than people think.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's especially because it's like, for the most part, it's a calculated risk in it when you really think about it. It's not like you just met Joey from out of nowhere. You saw him on the street and said, yeah, my podcast is a comma. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've had conversations. You're like, oh, this guy seems pretty cool. And he probably, you're seeing he's having a conversation with you, so he's probably thinking, oh yeah, this guy's pretty cool as well. It's like me and you. I think when we first met was when you did the lateral raises. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
And then you showed me, like, I was like, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we had a conversation maybe after. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So for the most part, when you've like had conversations with people or you've been doing something for a while, maybe you can kind of make an educated, like, let's say educated guess or educated risk as to whether that person is going to say yes or no. Because it's like, once you then get to that point, and obviously I know it's maybe different. I will explain maybe the different situation, how maybe you can't make calculated risk. But for the most part anyways, like, we'll say, for example, like I said with Joey, he probably will say, I mean, there's that party that's going to be like, oh, I don't know if you're going to win it, but you've had the conversations where you know that even if he does say no, there's a good chance that you could say yes, is what I'm saying. I'm guessing so, right? It's like when I used to do like, this was before I even like came to Nottingham, I used to do like sales and like door to door and stuff like that. Or even like being on the street or whatever, and like you could make an educated guess as to, one, who can find you approachable, two, who would maybe have the money to, I'm not trying to say I was out here like stereotyping people, but obviously you can only guess off of maybe like looks or a vibe. Maybe if someone's waiting around for a while, you're like, oh, this person's got a bit of time. That's the kind of thing that I mean, innit? Instead of like someone who's walking at a fast pace, this person isn't going to want to stop. That's the kind of thing I mean. So you kind of make an educated guess as to maybe when you're going to get a rejection or not. And yeah, sometimes you're going to get rejected. But like you said, for the most part, we think it's a lot worse than it actually is going to be. Like, and that's just how it is. Like I said, when I was there in the change room getting ready to talk to the girls, I'm like, and then I'm about to go in there, and then someone's come to talk to them. I'm like, it's over. It's over. They're just gonna say no. Like, they don't have time for this. Like, blah blah blah. So yeah, like, but you kind of have, you have to take that risk. If there's a girl that you want to ask out or whatever it is, again, that's just a part of growing. It's a part of character development. It's a part of life where you just have to make that leap and say, F it. What's the worst that can happen is she can say no, probably not. Some of them can probably cuss you out or whatever. But regardless, in that moment, you get rejected. It doesn't matter. Like, your life's not over. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's been times there when I was like, maybe at 14, I think I was like 14 years old, and I was on the bus, and there was this girl, so back in London, we come back from school, and there was this girl, she was kind of like sat a bit in front of me, and I'm with my friends or whatever. My boy's like, oh, you know, she go chat to or whatever. Because at that time, I was starting to, I guess you were 14, and testosterone was starting to come through or whatever. You're thinking, yeah, I'm this guy. And I kind of went from like, I think I was like 5'4" or something like that to like 5'9". I kind of really did it. So I'm there, I'm feeling myself. I'm like, I'm kind of tall. I thought it's 5'10" actually, sorry. So I'm feeling kind of tall. I'm feeling myself a little bit. The jawline's there and all this. So, you know, I'm starting to explore that realm, wherever, feeling myself. So this girl comes on the bus now. I'm like, you know, she's kind of nice. You know, I'm going to flash out to her, whatever. Bro, I woke up. I don't know if she had headphones, but I don't know if she could hear us or whatever, right? But I woke up, and as I'm about to sit down next to her, she looked at me, and she just got right up, bro. She looked at me and got right up. She didn't even get off the bus, bro. She just went somewhere else. She didn't get off. And all my boys are there, like 3 of my boys are there, bro. They were greasing. They were locked so hard. But like, even with that, like, I just made a decision to just say, yeah, go for it. And she did that. I can laugh at it now because it doesn't even matter. Yeah, like, it's so insignificant. Like, the next day, literally, even I was telling the story to people, like, saying, bro, it was rude. Like, I can make a joke out of it. Like, there's so many different ways that you can take rejection. It's like, if you got rejected by Joey, it doesn't mean he's a bad person. Like, you know, it could be because maybe at that day he was like, you know what, I've got a lot on, like, don't even want to deal with that. Or it could be like, yeah, he rejected you, but who cares? Like, you can go interview Dave or something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's other things that you can do. It is not the end of the world. And of course, we're all afraid of rejection. But like I said, there's that life lesson of like, just go for it, right? And once you do, and you get rejected, you're still breathing. And if best case scenario is you don't get rejected, you get an amazing relationship or whatever it is. So just don't be afraid to take that leap, man, because then you never grow. You never grow as a person, bro. You never grow as a person. When you finish like college or sixth form, whatever it is, you're applying to like different colleges. Some of them will reject you. Some of them are going to like accept you. If you're going for a job, some of them are going to reject you. Some of them are going to accept you. And you're going to learn from those rejections. Because you definitely learn more from rejections than maybe successes. That's kind of how I've seen it a little bit. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, not that you learn more, but you learn, let's say, more frequently, I'd say. You know the things what not to do. When I was like going door to door and stuff like that, I know how not to introduce myself. I know how to maybe say a certain thing within a certain time frame because most people don't have time. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas if I was getting sign-ups, if I was getting people to like give me their money or whatever it is, which sounds crazy, but I would just be like, oh yeah, this is just what I'm supposed to do. But I'm not really learning how to maybe navigate difficult situations. That's kind of what I mean. So from rejections and from like setbacks or whatever, you kind of learn how to navigate difficult situations because there's always going to be difficult situations in life, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, learning from rejections and successes is one of the things that we have talked about. You are right that learning from rejections, like, okay, let me put it like this. The punishment and reward system, for example, let's take that into account. Reward has a way longer lasting effect than punishment does. So when you're punished for doing something, the effect diminishes over time. Like, you can take this into account, for example, when women get pregnant and they have the kid. The pain of pregnancy is essentially the punishment that comes for having, well, it's not punishment, but the negative sides of being pregnant. After you have the kid, you wouldn't instantly want to try have another kid.
Yeah.
Give it 6 weeks, a month or two. There's a couple of things, the factors that take into it, like your brain literally suppresses the memories of the pain, and then they want to have another kid. But also the punishment decreases over time. Negative effects decreases over time. So it just doesn't stand as much the longer as time goes by. Whereas reward does. So if someone were to reward you for something, for something that you did, that stays over time. So you're going to be like, oh, if I do this again, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
It's why we keep going to the gym. It's like, you get a good pump.
Yeah.
The gym's the one thing which gives you an accurate representation of what you're going to look like in the future if you continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we always get at the end. So we want to keep trading. Now, going back to the point about learning from your mistakes versus learning from successes. Learning from mistakes, the amount of activation energy that you get from a mistake is like up here. Maybe from your successes is like here. But either way, success is more consistent. With mistakes, it's like, maybe like in a while.
Yeah.
So you can still learn from your mistakes, but I think it's important to learn from your successes because it's just way more consistent over time.
100%.
Because when you succeed at something, we kind of just, as we said, it's like, oh, I was supposed to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of just true. You kind of just
Had to brush it off.
yeah, brush it off. But we have to look at it and be like, I just did what I went to do. How the hell did I do that? So I can do it again.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. No, I think you're definitely right still. And I think obviously we're learning from both. And I guess, like you said, with the successes, there's more of like how to maybe be consistently good at something. Whereas with the failures, I think it's more frequent. Well, I don't know. I guess people are different. But I think
they're probably more frequent.
Yeah, I think I fail more than I succeed.
Yeah.
So those can teach you more frequently things that you should avoid and navigate around, whereas successes can teach you how to achieve something. Like, okay, if I achieved this in this aspect of life, how do I translate that into another aspect of life that I want to be successful at, kind of thing. So yeah, we're just both right. We're both right. Yeah.
Moving on to like a different part conversation. When's the last time you cried?
Oof. Damn, I gotta really think about this, you know? No, I don't actually know. I really don't. I just have to think about if I'm brave enough to say this. It's probably maybe like late November. Probably like late November, I think, which is kind of recent, to be fair.
Well, last year.
Yeah. And I was just like, it wasn't like I was on some, like crying loads of tears or whatever. But there was a couple, and I think at that point I was just, so let's say my coaching was not going the way I wanted to. I think at that point I'd lost like 6 clients. I was basically down to 1, right? I was down to 1 client, bro. I'm like, this is all I got. And let's just say life wasn't going so well. I was kind of in a bubble of just me, bro. Like, it just felt like lonely. It just felt of just me, basically. No one else around, like, just me, myself, and I kind of vibe. And I'm having these feelings of like, am I going to be successful in life? Am I thinking about what it is that I want from life, and thinking about like how I don't have people like around me or whatever. And I genuinely do, because I've got friends, I've got family, but I'm someone who finds it difficult to maybe reach out to people because I just feel like I'm bothering them. I can't lie to you. And it just, I kind of definitely get in my own way in that way, because it's like I have people who I can genuinely reach out to. I just don't, because something inside me is just fucking not right, or whatever it is, isn't it? Like, I could easily message my mom, for example, and be like, Mom, you know what, I'm not really having the best of times right now. And my mom would call me straight away. She'd call me straight away and tell me I'm the best person in the world or whatever, right? But in me, I don't want to like put that burden on her to, do you know what I mean? Like to put that burden on her. So I never really like reached out to anyone in that way. And so it was pretty like, I don't know, it's pretty tough, bro. Like just mentally, I just felt like I didn't want to do anything. I just felt like, even with like, I'd go into work and stuff and people would ask me like, oh, what's going on or blah, blah, blah. It's like, we haven't seen you because maybe I didn't go into the office for like 2 weeks or whatever. Like I'm working from home, whatever. And I'm not, when I go in, I'm not like talking to anyone. I'm just in and out. No one even knows that I'm there. And so, yeah, like I was just in my own sort of head type of vibe. And I'm just not, it's like I said before, like I have like a lot of like, I do have a lot of like self-doubt. It's something that I'm still trying to like fight off or whatever. Which pretty much just feeling like shit, really. I don't know what you call it. But it was like, I was like, right, I'm going to go to bed. I usually try and go to bed at like 10 usually, right? Usually I'm actually falling asleep from like 8:30. I'm just fighting off the sleep to wait till 10. It's like 10. There's no like lights on or whatever. Like there's nothing. I'm just there, just waiting to go to sleep. Got my eye mask on, whatever. And bro, I cannot. It's like every thought, every bad decision, every, I don't know, rejection or every situation that basically hasn't gone well in life for me just came all at that moment, bro. And I could not sleep. I was tossing and turning, open the window so there's fresh air, put earplugs in. I'm like, let me put some brown noise on Spotify. That was doing it. Let me switch to some white noise on Spotify. Then it would cry. Then put on a football. Bro, I was trying to do anything to like just shut my brain off. And I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do no drugs, I don't do nothing like that. So I'm just living life sober, bro. I'm just sober. So I'm just there like, bro, I do not know what I'm gonna do to do it. So I feel like this was maybe the first time that I've actually thought like, should I just buy some weed? No, bro, it's so real. I was like, should I just buy some weed? Because I know like when people, they can just, they want you to get some weed, bro, they get high and just fall asleep, have munching and fall asleep or whatever. I was like, I actually might. But I don't know, I didn't anyways. So anyways, I didn't sleep. Now it's like 1 a.m, it's 2 a.m, and I'm just thinking about just life or whatever. And I don't know, like I just got flipping emotional or whatever, and tears just wasn't like crazy. This is me trying to sound more manly and that. It wasn't crazy tears, it was just a little bit, you know what I mean? Like slow, I wiped it ever, bro. Well, I just manly to, yeah, exactly, a little manly. So I was like, oh. So like, yeah, there was just I don't know, just a lot of like emotions and just, let's say negative emotions anyways. And I wasn't feeling so great about myself. And I was just like, cried. I don't know, just cried. And I went to bed actually. So then I ended up sleeping. I was just sleeping, right? Basically cried myself to sleep, bro, like a big baby. But yeah. And so yeah, it was just, I don't know, man, that day anyways, that split day was just a lot to kind of, I don't know, I just felt like just a lot to kind of deal with. But to be honest, once that kind of happened and I woke up, actually not, for quite a few days I was still pretty sad actually. Quite a few days I was still pretty sad. But I think, and you know what though, actually, during that time, I started looking for, let's say, satisfaction in external stuff. Whether always trying to like distract them. This is another thing that I've actually realized about myself is like, whenever I'm not doing well, I'll send this to someone else the other day. I'm just trying to distract myself with something. I will never sit in a room in silence, bro. Like, no, legit, bro, legit. I will have a football game on, a podcast on, and like music on Spotify. Because I don't want all at once, bro. And I could be, I don't know, playing a video game at the same time, bro. I would have 4 things that I'm doing, like, so my brain doesn't get a second of chilling, like, because once I do, I feel like I could just change so quick. So like during that time, I'm looking for anything, bro. Like even, I don't know, I could like go out to like, I didn't, but there was so many times I was like, I think I'm just gonna go to the club. I can't lie, I'm just gonna go to the club, drink, meet some girls or whatever. Just distract myself. Like I'm looking for all these external things, yeah. But I think I'm kind of lucky in that way where it's like I really don't like things like that. I really don't like clubbing, so there was no way I was gonna do that. But part of me is feeling like I probably should. And again, lucky that I'm not like into like drugs or anything, because I definitely would have been on some. Bro, I probably would have been on some some coke or something, bro. So, so yeah, at that time I'm looking for like external factors, or maybe like I'm trying to like, I don't know, talk to people and see like maybe their way of life, or I'm looking for like an advice, or you're just searching for something to just help you, make your life like feel just a little bit better in it, like. And yes, I remember just maybe like for like a week or 2 weeks, I was just looking for anything to just something positive just happen to me. And again, this might seem so small, but someone just messaged me about like, oh bro, I'm actually trying to like get into shape, kind of blah blah blah. Bro, the instant gratification that I got, I was like, oh my days, someone needs me. I was like, oh my days, someone needs me. Bro, I felt so alive. I felt so alive that day, bro. I was like, wow. Literally, there's sometimes like, I don't really have the best like feeling in terms of like being religious or like believing God and stuff like that. But bro, I genuinely looked up, I was like, oh my God, thank God, bro. Like, for real, if you're out there, bro, I love you so much, because literally I saw that text, bro, and I was just like, I'm not saying I was shaking, but just from elation or just happiness or whatever, I just felt like, wow, I am needed, I feel alive. And from then, I was like, but message it, bro, let's do this. Didn't even do like a whole like, I'll fill in this form. I was like, bro, let me get a call, sort this out super quick. Started it so quick, and then from that, I feel like I came out of and started to be like just more positive in general, like positive about work. Like I'm having like relationships with work and even like networking and stuff like that. I'm being more active. I'm just starting to feel alive again, because I remember for that period where I was just like, they just felt like I was just like there was just a cloud just over me, bro. It's like, you know, in the cartoons where there's a cloud, it's just following the guy and there's rain and there's like grays. That was legit. That's a perfect animation of what life was like during that time, bro. Like, and so when I got that message, it was like all of a sudden it was just fucking sunshine and rainbows, bro. And that just kind of trickled down into everything else, like feeling more positive about myself, having like more interesting conversations with people, like I said, having more like connections at work, or being okay with like reaching out to people. And then I feel like when you're maybe in a happy place or in a positive space, I don't know, I'm not like superstitious or spiritual or whatever, but for some reason that energy kind of makes good things happen. I don't know what the science or the whatever it is, you know, that reading stuff is like. I don't know what it is in terms of spiritually or whatever it is, but I feel like whenever you're in a happy space, generally other happy things or other things that are going to make you happy kind of happen. And I guess maybe it's because because you're in a more positive frame of mind, you're more open to opportunities, you're more open to having conversations, you're more open to actually doing, as opposed to just wanting to just shut down and just camera up and just like avoid everything and just be completely avoidant. So yeah, that was the last time I cried. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, man. That's something. That is something.
No, but it was yeah.
You're out for now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was out of it after that. Oh, bro, that message I can't even describe to you, bro. Like, I love you, bro. I don't even describe to you like how just the feeling, bro. It was instant. I can't exaggerate enough, bro. I was just like, it was like all of a sudden there was a wall, bro. Literally, I was like, wow, I am needed, and all things that I felt alive, bro. And since then, other good stuff has been happening, whether it's at work or personal life or I don't know, just anything, bro. Like, yeah, literally anything. For some reason, like, what was it that other day? I think it wasn't the other day, but this was like time ago. I completely forgot about like my other bank account. There was a lot of money in there. I'm like, bro, I was like, where'd this come from? I wasn't expecting it. I just checked it on a random day. I was like, oh yeah, I got this account. Like, what's going on here? But there was like fucking money in there. I was like, ouch. The things like that, man, it's just more positive. I don't know, man. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
if this were the last podcast you ever did, and anytime, like after this, you'd be dead. What do you want people to remember about you?
What, in general, or just about this podcast?
In general.
I think I'd want people to remember that I'm just like them. I think I'm definitely not someone special, obviously, but I feel like we are all, is that thing of like, yeah, we're all different, but we are all the same, because at the end of the day, we all want to be better, right? We all want to be happier. We all have, well, even with that, we all have insecurities. Man, have the same insecurities, but we've all got insecurities. We've all got things that we're battling. We've all got things that we don't know how to do. We've all got things that we do know how to do. And I'm just like everyone else in that way, just trying to figure stuff out. And I want to be remembered as someone who, like I said, is just like everyone else, just trying to figure things out. And I'm not trying to sound deep or anything, but genuinely, I feel like we can all do better of like understanding each other more, because I think we're starting to get to a point now where we don't have time for everyone else's shit, because it's not glamorous, or maybe because we've all got stuff that we're dealing with ourselves. But I think we can all do better with taking time, with just caring about other people. Because I don't know, man. And I like I said, I never used to care about people's BS. I never used to care about when people would tell me stuff. Like this was so cruel. But one of my boys, this was when we were like 19 at the time, I think, and he broke up with his girl, bro. I was just laughing, bro. I can't lie to you, like, no, I was the only one, but I think it was the way he was telling the story, bro. And he was like, and he said like, oh yeah, he was crying. I was like, you were crying? Oh, you're a bitch. I was which is crazy, but like, so yeah, and I feel like a lot of the time it's and we're getting to a point where it's hard to feel like sympathetic for people unless there's some sad music on a TikTok behind it or something. Do you know what I mean? Like on things like TikTok and Instagram, it's so you can so easily make something, you can really bring out some emotions from people, like whether it's you put a certain song on it or a certain filter on it, or maybe slow something down, whatever it is, right? Because it's getting so many senses, right, that would maybe activate those emotions in you. Whereas if someone's like telling you something, maybe because you've seen so many, even if it's something that's like good news, for example, someone could tell you something that's like good news in their life or whatever, and they might be like, oh yeah, this is cool and stuff, but it's like compared to everything else that you've seen so achieve, it's like, yeah, should you see? So it's like, we kind of all need to I don't know, take a bit more time with the people who are around us, because essentially it's our community, bro. Like, I kind of see, even for example, like the gym, because I'm seeing the gym as an example, because I'm in there how many times, bro, like, and I'm starting to speak to so many people there now. Like, that's a community. People I work with now at work, that's a community. Where if I'm doing I do fucking random sports already, I'm doing rounders, bro. Even people I'm doing like random sports with, like, that's my community. So like, I'm taking more time to, whether it's be there with people or experience stuff with people, and just kind of like enjoy life in a more like purer form of relationships. Because I saw this one thing about how this guy, I think he's a doctor, yeah, I think he's a doctor, and he said like the one thing that when people are like their last words, right, it's never, oh yeah, go bring me that trophy that I won. It's never, oh, bring me that degree, that certificate, or go bring me my car. Let me see my car one last time. It's, bring me my daughter, bring me my wife, my brother, my sister, my mum, whoever it is, because those are the people who, it's the relationships that we need to really like care about. And I think, yeah, if I was to say like what I want people to remember me by, is how, again, I wasn't like that before, but now how caring I am about like the people who are around me, like the people who I talk to. If I don't talk to you, bro,
I don't give a shit about you because I don't know you yet. Yeah, that's genuine, right? You can just go to me, whatever your life issues that I don't do a monkey, bro. I don't know. But if I do know you, let's say I've had conversations with you and all this stuff like that, the people who I do, I generally do care because I want the best for them. I don't want them to be going through, like, whenever someone's going through like some sort of trouble or whatever it is, I'm like, how can I help? Like, whatever it is that I can do, like, I want to be, maybe this is a bit crazy of me, but I want to be useful and help them in their life in that way. So yeah, I think I'd want to be remembered as like someone who, I don't know, someone who cares about people, which is not something I can say before. I'll be so real. Like, I know I keep going back to that point, but for real, I was a serious cunt like 4 years ago. I swear to God, bro, I was a serious cunt like 4 years ago. But now I'm trying. It's not even the point of trying anymore now. It's not even trying anymore now. Maybe there was a point where I was trying that, but now it's just genuinely how it is now, where it's like, I don't know, I just care about people, man. So yeah, and I feel like it's helped me even more along life because I don't know, it's like that thing, like I said earlier, like when you're just maybe you're doing something positive or you're being helpful or and you're happy doing those sort of things, other things or positive opportunities or where you can help more people kind of just arises. So I don't know, man, yeah, like say for example, during that time when I was feeling like more positive and feeling, I don't know, good and stuff like that, like I got this opportunity to like speak to kids about just people from my background, for example, who come from like low social economical background or whatever, and these kids have been, whether it's like rejected from school or wherever it is, and just like basically you have to just fend for themselves or on the streets or whatever it is, and it's so easy for them to join gangs or to get into fraud or drug dealing or post-Cold Wars or whatever it is, that it's like you've literally, like, these kids are like, what, like 14, 15, 16 years old. They think they've got life figured out, but they don't. And because they do as well, that can be used against it, not used against them, but it can be used to manipulate them by people who are older, because these people will think like they'll think, oh yeah, I'm from this area, yeah, I should rep this, because that's what they think. They're like, and the older people will be like, yo bro, like if this guy comes to your ends, bro, if you see him, stab it, bro, like kill him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's that sort of thing. Like, and they think, yeah, that's what I should do. Like, so these kids are easily like susceptible to manipulation or whatever it is. But side tangent. So yeah, like I got the opportunity to like speak to these sort of kids, and like you get to, and I guess in a way, because I can kind of relate to like their upbringing and stuff like that. I don't know, I was able to like kind of resonate well with them and like see how they're doing and stuff. And I'll still get updates on like how they're doing in terms of that, because they're doing their GCSEs now, isn't it? So like I'm able to like get updates on like how their GCSEs are going. I kind of help to like turn their life around a little bit. It might not be something major. And even when I went back, I was even surprised at like sort of love that I got after I went to do the talk. I went back again to like give someone an award. Bro, like it's crazy. They're like, oh, like I wanted to kind of do it again. Like, oh, how you doing? And they kind of like care about you and check up on you. And such a small, maybe a small act, or it can go in such a long way. And I'm using these kids as an example, but whether they're kids or an adult or whatever it is, bro, having a simple conversation, just having a bit of time for someone can go such a long way. So that's a big waffly way of me saying I want to be remembered as someone who cares.
That was good. That was good.
Maybe it's the
focus
drink, productivity drink.
Well, Olo, thank you for being on, man. I think you're genuinely a great person. So just, other than the fact your face is so fucking symmetrical, it's like, got some great insights, man. Yeah, I think that was a really, really good conversation. And I think a lot of people will learn something.
I hope so. They just yap for about an hour, and I don't even know what the time was that we started, but I don't know. Hopefully people are able to like pick up a bit of gem or knowledge, or I don't know. My life's out there, and it's hard and difficult, but don't make it any harder than it needs to be by trying to do things on your own or trying to be top dog, or make sure you have people around you and spread love and you receive love as well. And it makes life so much easier.
Yeah.